Maytal Taub here with another episode of Luxury Lifestyle. Today we are in Broadway Restaurant by celebrity chef Amar Santana. Getting incredible opportunity to have an actual conversation with the amazing business partners Ahmed and Amar at Broadway Restaurant here in Laguna Beach. Hello guys.
Hello, how you doing?
Yes. Welcome. Thank you for letting us come and have this conversation.
Absolutely.
You know, I've been coming to the restaurant personally with friends and family for a long time, and it's always an experience, and I really feel that you guys changed the OC culinary scene in a way when you opened the restaurant 13 years ago, because it's not just that you're coming to eat at a restaurant, you're coming to get an experience that really feels like home. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we always want to create a restaurant that it feels like your home, you know, like you want to walk in and you want to feel comfortable. You know, we get so many regulars here that come on a weekly basis that they want their name plaque on their table and on their seat. But if we do that, we won't have any seat or table available for anybody else.
Maybe they should just buying the seats, and you can have, yeah.
Do like a country club. They have dues that they have to pay, so we can do that. No, actually, what Amar, just to piggyback on what Amar was saying, people feel like they're home because they walk in, they know the bartenders, they know the service, they know the bus person, they feel like a family. Some of them really, like we just had a private party at someone's home. He invited some of the staff to be at his party.
Amazing.
You know,
they always do that, which is pretty weird because I'm the one who has to do the cooking when we do events outside, and then I'm cooking for, like, you know, my manager, my server, you know, a few of my cooks. I'm like, come on.
That's so great. I love that.
No, we're very fortunate. The locals really embrace this restaurant, and we're very fortunate that they like the restaurant and they frequent the restaurant quite a bit, or they recommend it to other people. So we're very fortunate in that sense, because in Laguna, if you don't cater to the locals, you're a dying business, because Laguna is a touristic city. So it's only busy during the summertime. So summertime is only 2 months. So what do you do the next 10 months?
That's so true. Yeah. You know, we sell homes to clients that come from different states, locations, countries, and they are coming here to look for a certain experience that they can take home with them.
Yep.
But really, Laguna have that incredible community, which we all are very involved in. And it creates just an extended family, and it's so authentic, and it just feels well.
And it's so beautiful. I mean, just a block away from the beach. You can't beat it.
You cannot. but you're really creating that experience and creating this a lot of people that really want to keep coming back. Really starts with the type of food and how you cook, and of course having incredible chef like you build the menu and create that. So I know you're combining a lot of different flavors from around the world. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that's one of the things that for me as a chef, I travel a lot. You know, like in order to get to know cultures and food from around the world, you have to travel. And I've been lucky enough to, you know, go to Morocco with him many times and bring him back. I mean, it's like a kid in the candy store. We go to the spice market. We go, you know, to the place where they sell all the different kinds of olives they cure in Morocco. And I'm just like, oh my God, can I take all this with me? Can we just put them in the trunk and bring it back home? And just, you know, to open my mind as far as like flavor profile, you know, different ingredients. And then I get to come back here and put our own twist with our local ingredients, you know, so that's what is so much fun.
So is this part of the secret twist recipe, that you really don't stay stagnant and you keep it interesting at all times with the food?
Well, given that said that, you know, we have a lot of regulars that come here, as you mentioned earlier, you know, you come here, you get the branzino, you get the Brussels sprouts.
I know, I'm boring. Every time when I come, I cannot skip the branzino.
Mean that you're boring. It's like they're darn good, and people, they're so memorable. When people have it, you know, let's say they have it today, they already want to come back, you know, a few days from now and have it again.
And I have to say, because I talk to a lot of clients that ask me where to go to eat here, and the people that just come even from different areas, surrounding areas. But what I really find that you do really well is you keep consistency on the quality of the food, which I think is really hard to do. And not everyone really appreciates
I like
that.
to take credit for, saying all the food is what makes this restaurant. Yes, that's one part of it, but I feel like it's everybody. From the moment you walk in, you get greeted by the hostess, you feel that warmth, and then you keep walking around, you see servers that have been here since day one. Some of my staff has been here since day one, so you don't see that in many restaurants. Like you always see the evolving, staff changing, like the revolving door. One server comes in, one server goes out. It's like,
and I think, and really with the luxury client, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a lifestyle, a luxury lifestyle, but something that's very personable and that really feels like family, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, that customized approach.
Yeah, and also since we have, our staff here, they're so they know the guests are coming on a weekly basis. We already know, okay, that table so-and-so don't like ice, what is ice water? We already know those things. We have this lady that comes in, she doesn't like the plain table. She puts a napkin over, so we try to do that before she gets to the table. It's just those little things that it makes the guests feel at home when we do that for them.
It's amazing, and a lot of that coming from combination of wealth of knowledge that you guys have in the entertaining industry for many years, right?
Yeah, well, being open for 13 years, you get to know the habits of everyone. One of the things that we try to teach the staff and instill in them is really there's no difficult person or difficult customer. There are challenges, yes, but our job is to meet and exceed those challenges.
Can you tell that to my husband?
Yeah.
I think he would appreciate that.
No, I mean it's and to tag along on what Amar was saying about the consistency of the cuisine and making different recipes and traveling. The research and development doesn't end for us. It's ongoing. We go everywhere. We go to Spain, Portugal, to Europe, in France, or in Morocco. He's been going to Mexico. We're trying to get all the flavors together. We have some of the staff that make their own recipes, their grandmother's recipe, and it's been.
Well, people always ask, what kind of cuisine is Broadway, and I explain to people it's cuisine of the Americas, because I feel like that's what makes America. Is the melting pot, is all the cultures, together, and I feel like here we could get away by doing that with the food. Like I have the Moroccan lamb shank, I have the Brancino, I got a hamachi dish, I got dishes from all over the place, but that's what makes this restaurant what it is today.
I agree. I think it's incredible. And now you're continuing by offering, you have twice a month events that are really specialized in specific cuisine. Tell me more about that.
Right. We're calling it destination dining. We do it the first and the third Tuesday of each month. And each month there's a different country or a region that we focus on. So far we've done few of them. We did Morocco, we did England, we did Spain, we did Portugal.
What do you serve in England? I'm like,
what are we doing?
I'm like, what?
We did Scotch egg.
Oh, Scotch egg. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was.
I spent 2.5 months in London filming Top Chef.
Right.
And we ate a lot of pub food. We actually did a challenge at a pub, and I'm like, okay, this is what English food is all about. Bangers and mash.
Did you crack the code for that? Because I'm still trying. So
believe it or not, you would think, like, for instance, you see your reaction about England. What did you cook from England? But believe it or not, people are craving these remote areas that they're not known for the foods. We did a Ukrainian dinner.
Oh, that's great.
People, they want to know. And there is a lot of people from all over the world that live here. They have a heritage.
Right.
So they always, when they feel like a country that they belong to, or they have ancestors.
It even feels more.
It feels more and they come here.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah. I love it. So all this really, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not only we do in the menu, we also create either a cocktail or wine from the same country to pair with those dishes. And
that's
people
so
love
great.
that. Yeah.
That's so
also
wonderful.
For us in the kitchen, when we develop this menu, it's like for my staff is to have fun with it. They get to do the research about certain countries, they get to search ingredients, they get to bring the ingredients in and try it out and play with the food. And that's how we create this menu, and it's been working for us very successfully.
It's amazing because it feels like there is a true vision that is so formed in a good way, and the leadership that you guys take ownership on. It's just incredible to see because it really brings those
food is
experiences.
universal. Food brings people together. That's why we love, what we do.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that's what it is. What we serving, food and music. What
Cocktails,
two things
food,
that brings
cocktails,
people
music.
together?
boom,
I
done.
agree.
Music and food.
I agree.
And the staff gets involved. We have one server actually that helps the chefs pair all these wines and create the menu and do all that. So we give them the freedom to do things on their own as well.
Which is great, yeah.
We're not all the time coming up with ideas and doing stuff.
It's very authentic and
we give
flowy.
them the flexibility to do their own thing as well. Because we're not the only one that can have ideas. Everybody has ideas.
Amazing. And I love that you coming with each of you, such an incredible background of experience in that
So different
specific
end of the
club.
world.
Yeah, which is so interesting. I mean, tell me more about that.
Well, I'm originally from Morocco. I lived in New York for 10 years, and we worked, believe it or not, in the same restaurant in New York. But 2 years after, I'm older.
Yeah.
than him.
Oh,
So
okay. So you
I
did not
worked-
meet there.
No.
Okay.
I worked at the restaurant, and after 2 years, he came in and worked in that restaurant.
Yeah.
Meant to be.
Yeah,
And we heard about each other, but never worked together. And then we had the opportunity to open this place here in Orange County for somebody else. And that's how he was the general manager. I became the executive chef, and that's how we met. We started working together.
Love at first sight.
that's
Yeah.
right.
That's so
he
great.
had me at the ribeye.
I realized. Fortunate too that I got the chance to be on TV a few times.
Yeah.
And that opened a different market for us because before I did any TV stuff, people will come here and eat, but they're like, yeah, we always go to LA if we want a great meal. Well, being in that show, putting myself out there, we get people from LA, San Diego, Palm Springs that they drive specifically to come have dinner.
It's a destination.
It's a destination,
Yes,
yeah.
which
And
is
before,
great.
nobody thought of Orange County like that. Every time I did any of these cooking shows, I'm like, where are you from? Where do you live? I'm like, in Orange County, California.
like,
I was like, what
the
the hell? They have
food, yeah.
restaurants there? They only know the Real Housewives. I was like, no, we got some serious chefs. We making good food. There's a lot of great stuff out here. So
Okay, so yeah, speaking about that, tell us a little bit of, give us some juice. What was some of the highlights on participating in Top Chef?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, the first time I did it, season 13 was about like 8-9 years ago. I went with no expectation. I was, one of those, I was still kind of young chef. I was 32 when I went and did it. And it was hard. It was, everything you see on TV, like times 1,000.
So what's the hardest thing? Is it the time restriction that you have or just being creative on the minute?
Being creative on that moment is one of those things, but it's a waiting game when you do TV. It's like you never know.
Right.
It's also they don't want to be the first chef to be cut.
Exactly.
There's so much pressure.
That's like
I
the
know.
biggest
So much
fear.
pressure.
Like
I know.
season 13, when I did Top Chef, the person that got eliminated, we on set. And imagine, this is the beginning. We have 17 chefs, and 16 of us are just there, and one person gets sent home. We heard this echo in that receipt. He's like, ouch.
Oh,
And I'm like, I don't want to be that person. And also, like I said, I went with no expectation, but also like after every single episode, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm getting the hang of this. I know I'm going to do a 30-minute quick fire challenge. I know it's going to be a challenge when you have time to prep and do. Let me just do what I do it. Obviously, I made it to top 5. I got eliminated.
amazing.
I got eliminated at top 5, and then they did this, I think, called Last Chance Kitchen. So I came back and started battling it out again.
the
So I
finalists,
made it
right?
to the finals again.
Amazing.
And then when I made it to the final, I competed against 2 more chefs to go to the finale. So it was a crazy experience. So I think from after that point, I was like, oh, I don't need to do this again. I already, made it this far. And then we did a show in Korea, just like Top Chef, another competition. And he came to watch me compete. And one of the things he said, I don't know how you do this.
It is tough. It's grueling. It's a long day.
It is,
It
but
is very tough.
but it's so incredible. Because don't you think? Did you feel that because they say growth really comes from those tough, challenging moments?
Oh,
Do you feel that you grew as a chef?
Absolutely, 100%.
As a chef?
Yeah. I mean, I was very shy on TV. I used to like shake when doing stuff, and I always used to say my food is not good enough to compete against these guys. But then when I saw myself there, I was like, what do you mean?
Wait a
I'm
minute.
better than these guys.
Gives them confidence for sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's
So that's why, I mean, I did that show in Korea. And once again, I said, okay, I'm getting older now. I'm a dad now. I'm like, I don't have the energy. I don't want to compete again. And then during the pandemic, I got a call to be a judge. So I judged half a season in Portland.
Are you eliminating half of your pocketbook when you do that?
I know. So I was
I was like, oh, what do I say?
So judging was great. So even I made it very clear to them. I was like, I would never compete again. I'm too old. They done for the young guys. And then I heard they were doing season 20 was going to be a Top Chef World All-Stars, in which they're going to pick top chef for every single brand around the world, and only a few chefs from the United States. I said, well, there's been almost 300 top chefs that have gone through the show in 20 years. Why would I think they would pick me to go and compete? So I'm like, not even crossed my mind. And then they called me and I was like, are you guys calling the right person?
That's so
And they said yes. So they ended up calling me and I did last season of Top Chef and it was incredible.
So I think you touched on it a little bit, but I don't think people know that you do private events as well.
We do. The space is small. It's not really big to do a private event for 10 or 20
offsite
people.
maybe.
Yeah, we do offsite events, but also people do buy out here. So the restaurant's so small, so if you have 30 people...
It's intimate, yeah.
Sometimes they buy the entire restaurant. We just did a party last week for 45 people. They bought the entire restaurant.
And then you have 200 people knocking on the door really angry that they can
We used to, but now we do it on social media. We alert people.
They will get mad. I drove all the way from whatever. You close to there. Why are you trying to be this one? I was like, okay.
Okay, sorry.
The space is small and big enough to do parties. We encourage people like 20 or less to do it early, either 5 o'clock or later at 8 o'clock.
Right.
Any more than 30 people, we recommend to buy the restaurant.
Yes.
Because it's not intimate anymore for 30 people.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
it seems like you're really touching every aspect of hospitality through food, wine, the drinks, the excellence, the service, the community, just like there's so much attention to detail with everything, and it's just so inspiring and great to see. So I really appreciate you allowing me the time to kind of ask you all those questions and tell your story. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
We just love to have more restaurants in Laguna. People would tell us, oh, you really want a restaurant to compete with you? Yes. You want good restaurants around, so the competition is healthy, is good. But when you have more restaurants, there's more people are coming.
I
agree.
You
know what I mean? So we would love to have more restaurants, and it's been tough. After COVID, it's really tough to manage, and the prices are going up, and it's really hard to manage the restaurant. But Laguna needs more restaurants.
I think that's a good point.
Yes,
I do.
A little more.
Yeah, that's a good point. But the great thing is, like, regardless to more restaurants or less restaurants, you really just every day it feels like you're making people's hearts smile, which is really incredible. So thank you for that.
I always tell people it's the only thing I know how to cook. He knows how to manage. I say it's the only thing we know how to do. You ask us to send a rocket to the moon, we might have some questions. But you ask us to open a restaurant, give people great service and great food. This is what we're here for. This is what we know how to do.